Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all good. So we are joined today by a very special guest, Leslie Tao.
Hi everybody!
Now, anytime anyone asks me if I do mentoring, I always say no, and I always pass you on to Leslie because Leslie is the queen of rent to service accommodation.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm not really like coming in on the cues, am I?
It's okay. So, tell everyone a bit about your background. Everything.
Everything.
Just everything.
Everything. Pour out my heart. So I wasn't as savvy as Leah when I was her age.
Oh.
Okay. I was in the corporate world, so I used to be a lawyer, and I worked really hard when I went to university. I didn't work too hard before university, but I wasn't very computer focused then at all. So I always only typed with 2 fingers when I started uni. So my nail broke here, so it might look a bit weird. So I was like this in my first year. So I was really dippy, still am, a bit of a diz, and I worked really hard at uni, so I didn't actually go out too much. I partied a lot when I was younger than that, but throughout uni I took it quite seriously because I was studying law, and I did quite well. So I continued my legal career. I got a master's. I went to London for that, so I did my bachelor's in Liverpool, London, and then did some further training for my licensing. But I found my way in Dubai. Now, I guess my property journey though probably started in terms of being exposed to it when I was quite young. Yeah. So what I mean by that is my parents are in property, so they do sort of commercial redevelopments or commercial to resi. So we had, you know, restaurants, shops, well we still have, but we're landlords now instead of operating. Offices, some single lets, some HMOs. So we've got a whole mix there. But I didn't really get into property, so I didn't really want anything to do with business or property when I went through my legal journey. I was just so like I need to get good grades. Because I was I suppose in my family I'm the only woman to sort of go to university at that point.
Amazing.
Yeah, now there's more, thank God. So there was a lot of pressure just to get, you know, set an example. So what happened? So in Dubai, my journey started when 2 things. I'm being very honest. I got into a really bad relationship with an ex-boyfriend. And we went into business together, but I was still working as a lawyer, so I left everything to him. I like didn't have any sort of experience with business, anything, and it like my life just went tits up in terms of relationship. Like didn't work out and ended really badly. And so I'm gonna get a bit deep. Is that all right? It's already real. Okay. And I like in a nutshell, I was like emotionally abused in that relationship. And not only did I find that I was stripped of my self-worth and my confidence, I also lost loads of money and had to pay loads of debt. So this business, he basically didn't pay loads of suppliers. And I didn't know what was going on with the money that was coming in. But my name was basically on all the legal documents, so everybody was coming to me like for you know, paying off these debts. And it was so embarrassing because at that point I was working for an amazing law firm, one of the best in the world. So it was called a Magic Circle firm. So it was so embarrassing.
I didn't know this.
I know it's going a bit more deeper, but it impacts because this is part of my journey in property. So what happened next was I had to work really hard to pay off those debts. So relationship ended, but the ex-boyfriend then was still stalking me and harassing me at work. So it was a really difficult time. Sorry, Cheryl, Leah's mum is on the
she's just like behind, that's why I was laughing.
And she's like, what's going on? Sorry, you guys were expecting this, weren't you? But we're talking about just owning up to your truth. And this is mine, right?
True. It's good to be honest, especially in this whole property game. I mean, we've been talking for probably about 2 hours now about this.
And okay, so what happened was I had to clear off all this debt. So I was working really hard on my legal job, and I was getting a great salary that had there was no tax back then. They didn't even have. Well, now in Dubai they've got 5% VAT, but there's no income tax or anything like that. But I also I worked extra outside of a legal job, so I had to tap her into my, you know, what other skills have I got to make money from. And I like at school I was really good at art, so I did like portraits on like jute bags. You guys didn't know this.
Amazing.
I do a piece on it. I I'll do a piece on it, and I'll tag you guys so you can see what I used to do. And so I made like nice, well, what did I used to charge? Like 70 to 75 pounds. I'm just converting it per bag. But it was a lot of work because like I had to customize it. It's like a mini cartoon portrait of a person. And so I did that to make extra money. I think I got like, I can easily make like 300 to 400 quid like one weekend just painting.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but I didn't enjoy it because it was for money.
Yeah, it was the outcome.
Yeah, it was for money. So, but that helped me pay my debts off so much. And looking back at that experience, I'm so grateful because it really made me more financially savvy. Yeah. So I had to look at my bank statements. I would do it every day to look at what I've got and how much have I got left, because I had a goal, so I wanted to get those debts paid off ASAP. Yeah. Yeah, and so I was 29 when, you know, trying to clear all this up, 28, 29. Yeah. So when I reached 30, and I haven't really told a lot of people about this, but I'm exposing it now. The reason why I had it's not a breakdown, but I guess it is, but just a panic attack. Yeah. Because I just lost everything. Yeah. Yeah, and I just thought I was such a failure. And I was turning 30 and I hadn't had anything to show for it, like no savings. I just got myself literally out of debt. It took like a year to clear. And failed relationship. So that's what got me into property, back into property again.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
what a story.
I know. I felt I was like such a failure back then. But I want you guys to know something, which is what my dad told one of my friends who was also in a weird situation similar to mine, is that you are not rubbish.
I like that.
Like, good advice. So you are not rubbish. And I want to tell you guys, it's okay to fail as well, but don't dwell in it for too long. You've got to get yourself out of it and have a plan. And I must admit that when I went through all of that, like emotionally, mindset was quite low. Yeah. And I just wanted to sleep all the time. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't really want to get out of bed. But then I'm lucky because my dad is ex-professional basketballer, so like he instilled this in me and my brother from when we were really young. But he used to make us, you know, we've always been very competitive in team sports, hated individual sports. And he used to wake us up at 6 o'clock to train us, like go outside in the cold. And we've got a park opposite our house. He used to make us run around it until we nearly died, but just training the mindset. We used to run around trees, like do loops, one you know direction, other direction, and froggy jump as well. He was a killer. But I didn't know at that time, but he was training our mindset.
I love that.
Yeah, I was the lowest of the lows. I had to dig into that, and I found that a bit of strength inside of me when I thought, oh, I'm such a failure, and what am I doing, and you know, I'm going to be in this position forever. And that's what got me out of debt as well, is just getting yourself back into the mindset of, okay, what's your goal? Your goal is to be debt free, and how we're going to get there. So it's working that out. So when I have my mentees, right, I go through initial financial consultation this came from when I used to get out of debt, but I'm applying it to how do you want to reach your goals instead. Yeah. So we set the goal and then we work backwards. So same thing. So from there, I made a decision. So I turned 30, had this like breakdown and panic attack. Like I'm in this like law firm office, have been like slaving away for a couple of years, and I wasn't really getting anywhere, and my heart wasn't in it either, because given everything that happened, and I just like dug in and was like, I need to go into property because I like property. Yes. So I obviously went and read the Robert Kiyosaki book again.
Of course.
Yeah, and that just motivated me even more, and just set some goals. So because by then I was quite good at setting myself goals and implementing. Yeah. So I set myself some goals, and I went into property investing in Dubai. So I brokered a few JVs because I didn't have like much money then, just paid off a load of debt, and it just broke my heart because every time I thought about how much money I had to pay off, which could have been like at least 2 deposits on a property, it just drove me a bit crazy in terms of I need to make sure that I'm not going to continue to be a failure, you know, X, Y, and Z. And I'm just thinking what else happened. So I bought 4 properties within I think a year, but by the time I got to buy the 5th property, I got scammed. Yeah, so all these, so the reason why I'm telling you this and everyone else is that it a easy journey.
Yeah.
And I had loads of failures before becoming successful, which I am now, but that is something that money can't buy. There was a lot of pain that went behind the scenes.
Yeah.
But it's part of my journey of how I've sculpted as an entrepreneur and as a woman. So that's it in a nutshell. So after I got scammed, again, I didn't have a lot of money or confidence to keep raising money to buy a property. So I went into rent to rent, which is a subleasing strategy to earn cash flow.
Yes.
And that strategy really helped me. I think it was about £10,000 was my net that I was earning in Dubai from rent to rent. And that enabled me to leave my job, which I did. And then I came back to the UK in 2018, beginning of 2018, end of 2017, and that was also for personal reasons. So it's all a journey.
Yeah.
So during that time where I quit my job and everything, I did other investments. Some went well, some didn't. I got married, and I had a series of miscarriages, and that for me I just had a bit of sort of enough of the desert by then, because obviously I had all these things happen.
Yeah.
Obviously some amazing things too, like I met my husband, and Remy, who's like a rock for me.
Yeah.
And so I decided to come back to UK, and I didn't want to go back anymore, and it was okay, because with all of that experience behind me, I wasn't scared to start again from scratch.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's probably a lie. It was a bit scary.
I guess you've kind of been through it in a similar way before, so it wasn't like, oh my god.
Well, with all the bad things that happened, nothing could be worse, right?
Yeah.
Starting again was a challenge, but it wasn't like the end of the world or anything like that. It was just another challenge, So I started my rent to rent journey in the UK. So 2018, went through some training myself to see what the UK property landscape was like. And I managed to find a lot of success with service accommodation. Yes. So yes, but I do a mixed strategy. So so what I mean by that is I also do rent to rent HMOs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you get more stable income. SAs can fluctuate. The riskier, the cash flow can be a great reward, but you also get. We were just discussing this as well.
Yeah.
Low seasons. Yeah. So you need to work out your business. And I also look after the family's multi-million-pound portfolio. So I do a lot of refinancing. And what else have we done? Purchased a few properties, some redevelopment. Yeah, and obviously have a training company. Sorry,
yes.
It's lots been going on.
It's honestly so interesting. Like, this is better than I thought it would be.
Really?
Like, just keep talking.
Tell
us about cash flow freedom.
Right, so cash flow freedom started in 2019. That was last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm like, so much has happened. I felt like the last 2 years packed so much in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the most important thing is I gave birth.
Yes.
So I had a successful, successful pregnancy. And most importantly, because the Dubai doctors wrongly, so they misdiagnosed me. They told me I had insulin resistance and PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome.
Yeah.
But the insulin resistance was issue that made me have the miscarriages. And so I felt really bad about that, because that wasn't anything I control.
Yeah.
And when I was pregnant in Dubai, I used to have to exercise after eating every meal, so there was a lot of pressure, and I had an Excel sheet, or my husband kept an Excel sheet to just sort of track all of that.
Wow.
So this is what I think, okay? I think you should always believe in your gut instinct. I felt that the Dubai doctors were probably a bit too intrusive. Right. In terms of, I had an intrusive ultrasound like every other day at the early stages of my pregnancy. So I feel that this is probably one of the biggest reasons, and also all that exercising. Yeah, after eating, because of the insulin thing. Why I miscarried. So when I came back to the UK, I chucked all of that advice out the window, and in the UK you're only allowed like 2 scans or something.
Yeah.
I did get a few more, by the way, like privately, but I just was more chilled about the whole thing, and I didn't do crazy exercise, hence why now I'm a bit chubbier than I was in my Dubai days. And that's how Matteo came about. So he's my biggest achievement and blessing for 2019. I'm so blessed to have him.
Yeah.
Sure. And And as a result, he brought lots of good fortune. So in our culture, we talk about babies bringing good fortune, right? But after he was born, I launched Cashflow Freedom, which is now a partnership with another property trainer, Trevor Cutmore, who is a joy to work with.
Yeah, I love Trevor. Hi, Trevor.
He's just so lovely. Like, we've got the same ethics and also how we would want to run our business. So we work really well together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's just, we can talk to each other like I do with you guys about anything.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Yeah. And then I also launched Cashflow Freedom Compliance, which is the legal arm with Martin Wong. And then we've got Cambridge Sourcing, which is a sourcing company. So it's been about, you know, running these businesses. And my rent-to-rent units, so we've just taken on a mini hotel. Hasn't gone live yet. I might do a soft launch, but that brings us up to about 60 something units in total.
Wow.
Yeah, on the rent-to-rent portfolio side. So that's where it's all gone, and I'm still here to tell the tale.
That is just incredible. Like, honestly, this is like so inspiring. I'm just like,
are you okay?
Sorry, I might cry.
I'm happy I'm able to share that story, because when people see successful, it might be like through a social media, obviously, or something. They often don't know what it's taken for you to actually get that. And mine was literally, my story is actually blood, sweat, tears and more. But looking back, in a very weird way, I wouldn't have changed
like it's made you.
Like I wouldn't wish like what I went through on anybody, because I found that incredibly difficult. But it's shaped me. I still am who I am, but just like a bit probably less ditzy in some ways. But I still like to have fun. But when I work, I work.
Work hard.
We work hard.
Oh, it's amazing so far. I love it.
Really?
Yeah, it actually has. So tell us about your favourite property deal ever.
Favourite property deal? I'll talk about a recent one. It's probably not a favourite, but it happened yesterday. Yesterday was Wednesday, right? Yeah, it happened yesterday. So my first ever rent to service accommodation, it's a 2-bed in the centre of Cambridge. So the landlord wanted the property back because they wanted to run Airbnb themselves. So we did a handover yesterday of the property, and I just gifted them all the furniture and stuff. You know, so that went quite well. But then it's basically in like a very small block. So I've also got it like quite friendly with the freehold landlord, who then came knocking on the door because she was watching us. She wanted to get introduced to the leasehold landlord, because basically she hadn't paid her service charges to the freehold landlord since 2015. So I did a really awkward introduction. Changed numbers. And then the freehold landlord basically asked me whether I was interested in taking one of her flat, which was 2 doors down. She also lives like at the back of all these properties, and she's an amazing lady because she's a woman, and she redeveloped this plot into I think there is at least 6 flats there. And she sold some off and she kept some, and she lives next door with 2 massive dogs. So she's been quite interesting to talk to. So literally we lost one, but then we gained another property.
Only you could do that.
Well, it was a bit unexpected, but I just think that it's the power of having relationships.
Sure.
Like I don't always get everything right, by the way. I probably make more errors, but I think that as long as like I'm quite upfront. So if I've effed up, I will admit it. And have a conversation with people involved, and usually I find that they really try and help. So that's an instance of a property that was, you know, just we lost one, then we gained one. But obviously we've got some amazing deals. Perhaps talk to you guys about the mini hotel.
Tell us about the hotel.
So mini hotel is a deal that I've been working on, but not very hard, for about just a bit over a year now.
Oh, wow.
And the reason why I haven't been working that hard on it is because my brother has been working hard on it. Because my brother is he's a designer, but he's got architectural background. So he was applying for the licensing for the landlord to get it into a C1, which is hotel bed and breakfast category. So and then And then now it's come back to us for, you know, taking it over. So it's 11 bedrooms in Hart Cambridge. It's got some parking as well. So what I'm also doing now is that I'm trying to negotiate for the whole block. So it also includes kitchen and a massive restaurant conference area. To take that over on a long-term commercial lease. So that, I think that's the most exciting rent-to-rent deal I've had so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, how exciting. And what do you think the future looks like for serviced accommodation? Like, what do you think the market's gonna kind of do?
I still think that the market's lucrative, but you've got to be very careful about choosing the type of property and location. Yeah, because we were talking about this behind the cameras, but we were talking about saturation as well. And obviously serviced accommodation is going to be regulated at some point down the line. So I think people, you know, if you're going to have a more longer term view of this business, should really start looking at, you know, taking on a few units to see how they do, okay, and have an exit strategy. And if it's all working quite well, you want to continue building your service accommodation empire, then I highly suggest that you go and, you know, look into the C1 planning category and take over a guest house or a hotel, because that's more sustainable as a business, because you know, you're not in breach of any planning rules or mortgage. Yeah, these are sort of all the grey, so I was about to say, I won't repeat it, grey areas that come up.
No, that's actually really good advice. It's not something that I'd like kind of thought of before, about just taking over a guest house.
Yeah. So that, but I don't think anybody who's a newbie should do that.
Yeah.
Because you might not enjoy running like a hotel / service accommodation business.
Yeah. So who is key in your team?
My husband.
Yeah,
my husband. He's like, apart from being my like partner in crime on a personal side, he's just I can always rely on him. Yeah, and he's opposite from me. Yeah. So Remy is even more into details and putting, you know, working to put proper systems into place. Yeah. So I personally don't like managing a business. I'm great at starting one and promoting, and, you know, knowing what to put in place, but I don't like to deal with the implementation aspects. Yeah, so he's good at helping do the implementation. Yeah. Hubby all the way.
I love it.
And I like my employees are quite good as well. Cute. But hubby needs to be mentioned. How angry would he be if he wasn't?
So, what do you think we can do to encourage other women to get into property?
Right, ladies, let's get into property. Because we're sick and tired of being like one of the few, that are in property. We need you to join us, come on, and build a stronger female. It is still quite a male-dominated industry. Or it's other women who are doing it are really quiet about it. Quiet tinkerers in the background. So get into property, and those of you who are in property, please start talking about it a bit more and spread the word.
There's too many guys who are always the ones to say like, oh, we're into property, and the women need to come step forward and tell everyone.
Baby shark. I've been doing this with my son at home.
Thank you so much for coming on my channel. I feel like you're going to be on my channel just way more this year.
Thank you for having me.
It's going to be good. We're just going to have loads of conversations, things like that. Thank you so much. So guys, please make sure you follow LCM Home on Instagram to keep up to date with all of the shenanigans. And thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it as always. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
Annyeong.